Like, these animators are on shaky ground.
Yes, correct.
What happened with the actor strike? Did they settle that? Is that over?
This is Rachel Zegler. Her incredibly off-putting personality is not the only thing you will get out of Rachel Zegler while talking to her. She will remind you that she hates
Rachel Zegler, the ever-controversial leader of Disney's Snow White remake, has once again set the internet ablaze, this time with a bold political statement supporting Free Palestine. The move has reportedly left Disney executives scrambling, fearing it could turn an already precarious situation into a full-blown boycott. And honestly, it seems their fears might be justified. After all, you reap what you sow, and Disney is now tasting the bitter fruits of its own decisions. The drama surrounding Rachel Zegler and Snow White has reached a boiling point, so much so that even Joe Rogan, yes, the Joe Rogan, couldn't resist throwing his hat into the ring. Known for his takes on everything from MMA fights to alien conspiracies, Rogan has now set his sights on the Snow White fiasco. But before we get into his take, let's rewind and break down how Disney landed in this mess. It all began in August 2024 when Disney dropped the first teaser for their Snow White live-action remake. What should have been a magical moment turned into a PR disaster of epic proportions. Within weeks, the teaser became the most disliked movie trailer in YouTube's history, amassing nearly 1 million dislikes against a paltry 6,800 likes. The backlash was immediate. Within the first 24 hours, the video had already racked up 93,000 dislikes, and the comment section was a battlefield. One user quipped, "I came here purely because I saw on Facebook that this video has over 1 million downvotes, and I really wanted to be a part of that community." Like, another chimed in, "Wow, Disney, you truly are incredible. It took you 3 years, multiple rewrites, unnecessary CGI, and $29 million for me to enjoy the comment section of a movie I'll never watch. Bless you." Fans weren't just upset, they were furious, and the message was crystal clear. They were done. For many, it boiled down to Disney's baffling creative decisions. Instead of the beloved Seven Dwarfs, the studio initially planned to feature a group of diverse magical creatures. This move backfired spectacularly, with actors with dwarfism publicly calling out Disney for excluding them. In a hasty attempt to salvage the situation, Disney pivoted to CGI characters. But the result? A lifeless, awkward mess that left fans questioning how a live-action remake could feel even less authentic than the animated original. At the eye of this storm is Rachel Zegler, cast as Snow White. Her casting initially sparked cautious optimism, but that hope quickly evaporated when comments she made about the 1937 classic resurfaced. In an interview, Zegler dismissed the original as extremely dated and criticized its romance, calling it creepy and weird. Her words struck a nerve with fans who grew up cherishing the timeless tale. And her dismissive tone? It was like pouring gasoline on an already raging fire.
You told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon.
Fans interpreted Rachel Zegler's remarks as more than just criticism. They saw them as outright disrespect, not only to the original creators of Snow White, but also to the generations who grew up cherishing the film as a cornerstone of their childhoods. Instead of distancing itself from Zegler's divisive comments, Disney seemed to double down, allowing her critiques to go unchallenged. This decision alienated even their most loyal supporters. In an effort to contain the fallout, Disney launched a press tour featuring Zegler as the face of the project. But instead of mending fences, her attempts to backtrack fell flat. Fans were quick to point out the insincerity in her sudden praise for the film, especially given her earlier, widely publicized critiques. To make matters worse, the promotional materials revealed a version of Snow White that seemed worlds apart from the beloved, kind-hearted princess audiences adored. Zegler's portrayal appeared brash and condescending, sparking questions about why Disney had strayed so far from the original character's charm and innocence. And then another bombshell hit. A resurfaced 2022 interview with Entertainment Weekly revealed Zegler admitting that she avoided the animated classic for over a decade because it had scared her as a child. She went on to describe the 1937 film as extremely dated in its portrayal of women and claimed the remake would redefine the phrase fairest of them all to focus on justice rather than beauty. While some praised the attempt to modernize the story, many fans saw it as yet another effort to undermine the original's legacy. The backlash exploded on TikTok, where users flooded the platform with critiques. Many compared Zegler's approach to that of Halle Bailey, the star of Disney's The Little Mermaid. Unlike Zegler, Bailey had celebrated the original story while embracing her role, earning widespread praise for her respectful and heartfelt approach. Their hashtag is yet another. His body language, and he never rolls his eyes. He's got it. And plenty of people are like, incredible, you put so much faith in the clown. And he's like, in stark contrast, Zegler's dismissive attitude felt like a rejection of the magic that made Snow White timeless. One viral TikTok comment summed up the sentiment perfectly. Halle Bailey made us love The Little Mermaid all over again. Rachel Zegler made us want to forget Snow White ever existed.
It came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. And she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she...
Disney somehow managed to cast someone for Snow White whose entire marketing persona screams, "I hate Snow White." Rachel Zegler's repeated criticisms of the beloved classic have left fans scratching their heads, asking the question no one at Disney seems willing to answer: why cast someone who openly dislikes the original story? The fans have been vocal, wondering how an actress who admitted to being scared of Snow White as a child and still seems lukewarm about the original film can successfully embody one of Disney's most iconic characters. The casting decision feels baffling, almost as if Disney was trying to court controversy rather than honor their legacy. But the storm isn't just about Zegler's remarks. It's a reflection of Disney's broader missteps in reimagining classic stories. What once felt like respectful tributes to beloved tales now feels like clumsy attempts to modernize at the expense of their core magic. The fallout has been enormous. What the author Al-Haishi said backstage, as Joe Rogan recently put it, this whole Snow White thing isn't just a movie issue, it's a brand issue. Disney's trying to walk this tightrope of being progressive while still keeping the magic alive.
I want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death.
Rachel Zegler didn't stop there. She doubled down, framing herself as a victim of relentless online harassment. In interviews and social media posts, she painted her experience as an unavoidable consequence of life in the spotlight. According to Zegler, being an actor means facing constant public scrutiny, no matter what she says or does. While some sympathized with her stance, others weren't so forgiving. Critics argued that much of the backlash was a direct result of her own words and actions, not an unprovoked attack. Instead of defusing the situation, her attempts to garner sympathy only seemed to inflame it further, with many accusing her of deflecting blame and refusing to take accountability.
This is Rachel Zegler. Her incredibly off-putting personality is not the only thing you will get out of Rachel Zegler while talking to her. She will remind you that she hates Snow.
Rachel Zegler lamented the backlash, but it seems she's forgotten her own words as she's back in the hot seat yet again. Like clockwork, she stirs up fresh controversy every few weeks, reigniting outrage and making Disney's upcoming Snow White film seem like an inevitable disaster. Recently, Zegler took to Instagram to voice her outrage over a political upset. Clearly passionate, she admitted to being heartbroken following Donald Trump's election win against Vice President Kamala Harris. In a now-deleted Instagram story, she wrote, "I am speechless and heartbroken. I hope Trump voters, Trump supporters, and Trump himself never know peace. I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I am heartbroken for my friends who awoke in fear this morning." Her comments sparked immediate backlash. Critics labeled her statements as unhinged, with many calling her a liability for Disney. Some even demanded the studio permanently shelve Snow White and distance itself from Zegler, claiming her involvement was toxic to the brand. Instead of stepping back, Zegler doubled down. In a follow-up post, she described the election results as a symptom of a deep, deep sickness in the United States and criticized Trump supporters for subscribing to a foolish sense of security, masculinity, and intelligence. Adding fuel to the fire, she also took aim at Elon Musk, urging her followers to leave Twitter entirely. "Get off Elon's app," she implored. This move only amplified the debate, with critics accusing her of being over the top and alienating even moderate audiences. But Zegler's controversies don't stop there. Take, for instance, her infamous dramatic reading of Britney Spears' tweets during the pop star's public feud with her sister, Jamie Lynn Spears. While likely intended as lighthearted, fans of Britney found it tone-deaf, given the gravity of the Free Britney movement. And let's not forget her very public grievance over not being invited to the 2022 Academy Awards, despite starring in West Side Story, a film nominated for 7 Oscars, including Best Picture. While some sympathized, others criticized her social media outburst as unprofessional, noting that many actors handle similar situations more gracefully. With these moments stacked against her, Zegler has become one of Hollywood's most polarizing figures. Fans and critics alike are left wondering if Disney will finally cut ties with the actress, or if the company will continue to stand by her, hoping to weather the storm. Meanwhile, Disney's attempts to mitigate the Snow White drama keep backfiring. Recently, they released a new trailer only to pull it down shortly after its debut. The first trailer had garnered over 1.4 million dislikes, and it seems Disney wanted to avoid another wave of backlash. However, pulling the teaser only sparked more speculation, adding fuel to the fire. Leaked set photos from 2022 also revealed a controversial reimagining of the Seven Dwarfs. Instead of traditional portrayals by actors with dwarfism, Disney opted for a diverse group of performers of varying heights and body types. While Disney stated they consulted with the dwarfism community to avoid stereotypes, the move was widely criticized as pandering. And at this point, many are openly rooting for the evil queen rather than Snow White, with some joking that the villain seems more compelling than the film's protagonist. Even former Disney Imagineers have spoken out, suggesting the studio should skip a theatrical release and drop the film on Disney Plus to minimize the fallout. Joe Rogan even weighed in, saying it might be better for Disney to just release this on Disney Plus and avoid the backlash. While a bold statement, it's one that increasingly makes sense as negativity around the project grows. So what's next for Disney and Rachel Zegler? Will they finally part ways, or will the company double down on its choices, hoping the storm will pass? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. We've got plenty of juicy stories lined up.